Kirk Crespin. This is the January 9th, 2023 meeting, so it's our first meeting of the year. 2022 was a great year. We got a lot accomplished, but there was a lot of planning and progress in the background that a lot of people weren't aware of. Coming into 2023, we're looking forward to a lot of progression as well. We have the beginning of our master plan for the comprehensive community development that we'll be working on, as well as other projects in the city. So we're looking for a great city, or a great turnout this year as far as productivity. So we're excited to have that happen. One thing that's, for me personally, is a little different is I go onto Facebook, and every time I go on there, there's a new day and a new special day, for some, whether it's the Nurses' Day, Teachers' Day, or whatever it may be. But I got home tonight, I looked on my phone, and sure enough, I missed it. I totally missed it. Today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So I wanted to take a minute. I know we have some officers tonight that'll be sworn in, but these officers, they work their hearts out, and they do it for our community. And we really appreciate everything they do for us. I know that every time they walk out their door, there's a risk. It's life or death when they're doing their job, and it's important. And it's important for us to take time to appreciate what they do for our community. Whether you agree with them sometimes or not, they're fulfilling the law. They're doing what their sworn oath was, and what we'll see tonight with the two officers that are getting sworn in tonight. So it's very important not only to appreciate the officers themselves, but also their families, because every time they walk out that door, their families know that something could happen in a terrible way. We hope that never happens for our officers, but I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate everything you do. So we'll move on to the council meeting. Tonight we have Jeff Alexander here for our invocation. Jeff?
Our Father, we want to thank you and praise you for the privilege of coming to you, the God who watches over all things. And Lord, we are particularly wanting to pray for those men and women in our community that stand in the gap and protect us from the lawless entities that are all around us. We pray for their safety. We pray for their wisdom for them and strength for them as they carry out their responsibilities in this community. We want to pray tonight for this meeting. I want to pray for all the council men and women who are here to take care of the business of the city. And thank you for what you have accomplished through them in this community in the past year. And we're looking forward now to a new year and asking for guidance, for wisdom, for protection, for Lord, leadership for them. And we thank you for what you will do in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Bellamy, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:03 p.m. I will call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Mike Bellamy.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins.
Here.
Kirk Crespin.
Here.
Mike Duffy.
Here.
Manuel Temez.
Here.
Anne Marie Crampton.
Here.
Rob Evans.
Here.
Kristen Swartz.
Here.
Lance Clark.
Here.
All right, we've all had a chance to look over the consent agenda. I didn't see anything that needed to be separated for voting. Did anybody else by any chance?
I didn't.
Nope. Okay.
Same motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the audience participation. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that's at the discretion of the council. Is there anybody here tonight that would like to speak to the council on a topic? Seeing none, we'll move on. Next item on the agenda is the city treasurer's report.
I have no report tonight.
No report from the city treasurer. Do we have any questions from the council?
I don't have any.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to the city clerk's report. Linda?
So the November sales and use tax collected in December was $378,701.77, which was up 2.15%, or $7,971.76 from 2021. Our year-to-date collections were $4,908,015.98, which is up 3.78%, or $178,951.89 from 2021. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
No.
All right, seeing none, we will move to the city administrator report.
All right. So before we get to number one there, just a couple of notes that the National Law Enforcement Day was one of the things that we were going to stay here, and we were going to have a couple of new big additions to the police force. And
Great.
you take a look at them, you'll say they are very big additions. Ain't that right? Kyle's been doing a great job getting new people out here, and I wanted to say thank you. So if you want to go ahead and get to the number one, can we go ahead and do the swearing in right now?
Certainly.
Start with Josh Boudreau.
Better take my pen with me. All right, so Josh? Mr. Boudreau, if you'll raise your right hand. I, Joshua Boudreau,
I, Joshua Boudreau,
do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America
do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America
and the state of Colorado.
and the state of Colorado.
I will faithfully and impartially enforce the laws of the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the city of Lamar.
I will faithfully and impartially enforce the laws of the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the city of Lamar.
And do further swear to discharge the duties of a police officer for the city of Lamar, Colorado,
And do further swear to discharge the duties of a police officer for the city of Lamar, Colorado,
to the best of my skill and ability,
to the best of my skill and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
You want to introduce who's going to pin your badge on you?
Yes,
This is my girlfriend, who you like to see us.
okay. We'll do the badge pinning. Just take a quick picture here. All right.
Thanks for doing me in 2 minutes.
Mr. Toomey, Officer Toomey. All right, if you'll raise your right hand. I, Liam Toomey,
I, Liam Toomey,
do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Colorado,
do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Colorado.
I will faithfully and impartially enforce the laws of the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the city of Lamar,
I will faithfully and impartially enforce the laws of the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the city of Lamar.
and do further swear to discharge the duties of police officer for the city of Lamar, Colorado, to the best of my skill and ability.
And do further swear to discharge the duties of a police officer for the city of Lamar, Colorado, to the best of my skill and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And who do we have for you?
Yes. My wife, Alicia.
All right. Just stab it. All right, we'll take a quick picture. All right, congratulations. We have quite a few officers in the office tonight, or the council room here tonight, but as I said before, we really appreciate everything you do for us on National Law Enforcement Day. Thank you.
All right.
So the next thing, starting back up Coffee with Rob at other places throughout the city. I was going to start on Wednesday. Not only do I have another meeting that day, but that's my birthday, so I think I'm going to have coffee with my wife. So that's probably the first place I'm going to go to. January 18th, I'm going to do it at the Pit Stop, and at January 25th, we'll do it at the TA Center, the new TA Center out there, the old Pilot. Let's see, the Trailblazer Theater Company auditions Saturday, January 21st, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday, January 24th and 25th at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Cultural Events Center. Auditions are walk-in. The Chamber of Commerce Banquet, Friday, January 27th, 6 p.m. at the Lamar Eagles Lodge. And the Prowers Area Imagination Library Advocate application, I think I have it included there. We'll have that posted, and anybody who needs one can get one on our website. We have a couple of, just highlight a few of the projects that are ongoing, and if you've noticed here, the council room, up in the hallways, we got some painting done, we got some signs up, looking very professional and did a great job. And we're going to have talk a little bit about that later. Let's see, the pedestrian bridge, we had the follow-up inspections and it's safe to walk on, so everything's good. We began our daily oversight of the Community Senior Center. We increased our hours. We've got a carryover worker there that's doing a really good job out there, so we have somebody to open and close, and we're working closely with the seniors, so anytime they need anything, they know they can come to me. Let's see. And National Law Enforcement Day. So just to reinforce that, thank you very much. So if you guys had any questions about any other projects? No?
Anybody?
Thank you very much.
Looks like you're off the hook. All right. Well, thank you very much, Rob. Next item on the agenda is reports and correspondence from the council. Do we have any reports from the council?
I do not.
I do not.
No.
I don't have any.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to the Lamar Senior Board meeting today. On the 18th, they're going to be having a conversation meeting, January the 18th at 7 p.m. with a representative from the Lamar, Arkansas Valley Aging Association, and it's going to be a strategic planning meeting for all 6 counties, which they do that every 4 years, and it's for public input on what the seniors or anybody, I guess, would like to see done in the community.
What time is that at?
At 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
And they don't have it ironed down where it's at. I suspect it's gonna be at the senior center.
Okay.
There was a question with if there's gonna be something with the commodities, is what the seniors are wondering about.
No change. If they want to have it, they can do the arrangement
Okay.
and make it that won't be any problem.
Yeah,
So you might wanna have to get with them, cause that's like a county thing, and they're wondering if it's gonna go away or something. And I said,
No.
I haven't heard anything
Well, as far
like
as
that,
us,
but-
it won't go away from us. If they
Right.
want to negotiate that with the county, and I don't think there's any plans to stop that.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that's what the intent was, that they would continue on helping the county if they chose to.
so if you wanna reach out to them, just
will.
let them know as far as the city's concerned.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't wanna speak on that, cause I didn't know for sure.
No, we're good.
And so the senior center, of course, rents the hall down there and the kitchen and those type of things. With Pat's not being there anymore, do not call Pat's to make rentals for the facilities there. They have a phone number at the senior center, which is 336-4072, which you're gonna get an answer machine or forwarded to one of their cell phones. Or you can contact Sherry Settles at 719-691-1484. They just don't want to lose out on their hall rentals and still make that available to the community. Other than that, that's.
Is there a kitchen involved with that rental as well, or is it just the hall?
You can rent the kitchen.
Yes.
And the hall together, or just the hall.
Well, that way folks, the community can know that if they rent it, then they've got the kitchen, they can prepare meals.
Yes, sir.
And they do make a deposit in the name of the city in
Okay.
case anything's gone, and if we have to, it comes to the city first. So they can rent it out and get any of the extra, but if anything happens, the first 100 comes back to us.
Do you know what they rent it out for?
No, I don't have those rates in front of me. I can get
$15
those.
an hour.
How much is it?
$15 an hour.
15 an hour?
What about
I think
deposit?
25 for the
It's $100.
kitchen.
Mhm.
25 an hour for the kitchen, I think, with a $100 deposit. $100 deposit to the city.
They keep, yeah, Brian gathers it right now, and they rarely use it, but, so they return the check back to them if nothing
Yeah.
happens.
Most of the deposits come on
That's right.
check, so they do that separate from the rental fee. And then they just return the deposit back.
Okay. All right. All right, and was that all you had, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Jerry, anything?
No.
Nobody else? All right, we did have a meeting this morning. Rob and I met with Karen, Karen Bryant at Prowers Medical Center. We do our monthly meeting with Prowers Medical just to get an update and discuss things back and forth. They have a lot of things that are coming down the pipeline, some pretty exciting stuff over the next few months. One of their big pushes that they're really going to strive for in this first couple of quarters, this first half of the year, is building more awareness of the products, services, and all the different providers that they have on site. Couple of things that were very interesting in the conversation was their continued communication with High Plains Community Health Center and cooperation there. So it's great to see that relationship improve and build. And I think over time, it'll be a good partnership with them. It's just baby steps, and they're doing a little bit at a time. So that was great to hear. There's been some movement with their baby delivery center. I don't know what else you would call that.
Labor and delivery.
Labor and delivery. Yeah, just drew a blank there for a minute. But, there's been some movement with that. They're looking for some exciting announcements here in the near future. One of the things that we discussed as well was last year we had talked about doing a cooperative community event with the council along with Prowers Medical Center. And that one of the things we talked about was a few years back, we did a free hot dogs, and we did kind of an outing during the middle of spring, summer. And we invited the community. They would be very interested in working with us on doing something similar, whether they sponsor a movie or they sponsor free swimming that night, but they're interested in having that kind of event with the council. So they were very interested in doing it like the first 2 weeks of,
June.
one of the 2 first weeks of June, so the first part of June. If the council would like to think about that over the next couple of weeks, and then at the next meeting, we could try to pin something down. But I wanted to bring that up for discussion in the future, so you'll kick that around. But other than that, it was a very good meeting, and it was great to get an update with them. So that's all I have from my end. So we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is to approve addendum to the original contract with Maggart and Sons Incorporated on April 25th, 2022. So this was submitted by Craig Brooks, Christian Schwartz. So Kristen, would you like to discuss that?
Yeah, I didn't know my name was going to be on it. I haven't seen it. So,
Or Rob? Kristen and Rob?
I can, yeah.
so we have gotten through the first phase of the project, painting the hallways and staining the doors on this level. It was approved in the budget to continue and finish the project. And so this is the addendum to Maggart's contract to finish the project, which would entail 37 doors, which are on the main floor in the basement, all of the doors, staining them this same color, and painting the entryway when you come in, and taking care of the ceiling and the walls out there. So this is their addendum to that contract so that they could carry it into this year and finish the project.
If I could add, wanted to say thank you for the work Kristen did with Mr. Maggart on all of the color matching and the signs and stuff like that, because we had a couple of adjustments that happened on the fly, and they got done really quickly and efficiently, and it looks really nice out there. So thank you very much.
Yes, it does. Any questions?
The only question I had was this just an oversight with the vestibule and the other things, or was this?
It wasn't in the budget.
It wasn't in
for
the
last
budget,
year, so
okay.
we needed to get a new budget to continue the project.
Okay, that's,
I move we approve the addendum and have mayor sign it.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve and have the mayor sign. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is to accept and proceed with the 2023 Department of Justice Safer Streets Grant. This was brought in by, this was a grant that we applied for last year. Kristen and Chief Miller had worked on this for a while.
We were awarded the grant. And we were notified on November 15th that we were awarded the grant. It is for $36,000. It's through the Department of Justice. It's a state grant that they offered, and it's called a Safer Streets Grant. We applied for it to use lighting in all of our parks, motion lighting. And it was approved with the full dollar amount. So this is just the formal accept the grant and the terms therein, and so that we can proceed with ordering the lights.
I've reviewed it. I don't have any concerns with it.
So moved.
Is this price still gonna be, good for all of this work, or are we possibly gonna end up having to cut down what gets to be done, or is there gonna be a cost to the city?
As far as I know, did you speak to NIDES, Kyle?
I'm positive, yes. They gave us the bid to do the grant initially, which was, I don't know, a month ago, a month and a half ago
Yeah,
now.
It didn't take us very long.
So it shouldn't change drastically within that short of a time frame.
This is the fastest awarded grant I've ever had.
And it was a
Nice.
100% grant, correct?
Right.
We applied for it in November and got it by November 15th.
Okay. We had a motion.
Second.
All right, were there any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is to award a bid 42-015 for aggregate materials and snow removal.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members.
Evening.
So on December 28th, we opened bids, or Kristen and Karen did, for aggregate, asphalt, concrete, snow removal. We received 2 bids, one from All Right Paving and Ready Mix and one from Brandon Aggregate, which was formerly Powers Aggregate. So between the two, All Right more or less submitted a bid for asphalt, concrete, and flow fill. And one of the stipulations All Right had is that they received the bid for both asphalt and flow fill, or concrete and flow fill, they would lower the price of the asphalt by $2 per ton, which takes it down to $103 per ton. And last year, I don't know if council's aware or not, but I think we were running right around $80 a ton for asphalt, and due to the price of oil, it jumped. They did a price increase on us to $105. That was pretty early on. So the bid they bid this go around was $105. Of course, if they give us credit for $2 a ton, we're down to $103, which is about where we were last year at the end of the year. So
And I did speak to Mario on that note and asked him if this bid would be good for all year. Is it really, when they bid something for a year and then they come back and they raised it and we didn't have a choice but to move forward because it was right before our streets project. So I asked him if it was a good bid for all year, and he confirmed with me that this bid would be in place all year long. They wouldn't raise it.
Okay. All
would
right.
this be a good time to put a plug in to purchase an asphalt plant? Just think about it now.
Might be a little bit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
5-year plan.
So, but, you know, in all honesty, that does, it's, you know, it cuts down about 20% of what we can get done. When it's 20% higher, then that's 20% less asphalt that I can, 20% less streets I'm gonna get done. So hopefully the price of oil trends downward here, and maybe next year we can get asphalt back to more reasonable prices, but. So, Brandon Aggregate more or less bid on all the rock, gravel, sand products, so it would be staff recommendation to award All Right with the asphalt, concrete products, and Brandon with all the aggregate, rock, and sand.
Okay.
I have one question. On here it says snow removal. I don't see anything in here about snow removal.
So at one point in time, I'd asked to bid, basically, we've had blizzards around here before where you need all hands on deck, so we had put in there where, you know, if they had a loader or a grader, you know, what they would charge us per hour to do it, so, but we didn't get any bids. We haven't gotten bids for years on
We just, they
snow
both
removal,
no
so.
bidded.
Right.
They have, I think every year.
So do we have a contingency plan for?
Well, I mean,
If we get
luckily,
that blizzard of 23 and, you know, cows are dying in the south of us, and you remember that blizzard.
I do remember both those blizzards, 97 and 2007. So I feel like we're probably a little better positioned, believe it or not, than we were in both of those. We've got more equipment, more loaders, more bigger equipment that can handle it. You know, the airport's got the snow blower out there now that we keep on site. So, I mean, can we do it all? I hope so, but if we can't, you know, we may have to do like we did last time. We ended up having to call up the line to, you know, rent equipment on our own and have it shipped down here to us. And but you know, it worked out both times where we were able to get some contractors, once they kind of got their stuff done, they come up on board and helped us out, and one way or another, we'll dig out of it one way or another. We have before, so.
Pat's done a really good job at getting near new or really good, you know, CDOT equipment. So we got a lot of orange trucks out there.
Yeah, a lot more loaders. I think back in 97, we had literally one front end loader and one grader. We've got 4 loaders now and 3 graders and lots of plows. And so I think we're a little better shape than we normally had been, so.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, any other questions for Pat?
I move we accept the bids.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the bids as submitted.
I do have one thing to add, just as Pat mentioned about the escalation at the last time, I think it was a few months back where the price increased. Well, and I mean, of course, we'll take the assurances as well as we can from those companies to say that they're not going to increase the price, but each one of these bids has an escalation clause in there that if their price increases, that they can increase the price. And I suppose in the future, we can explore kind of language changes to that if we need to, but they can increase that price just if their cost of oil or cement or transportation increases. But
Or at least put a cap on it in the
pretty,
future.
I think it's fairly common in most of these types of bids when they're this length of time and given the fluctuation of the market in a lot of these areas.
Yeah, we have discussed in the past not putting it in there, but we felt like it might be more detrimental to the overall yearly price by taking it out. If we leave that out in there, that it may actually keep prices down a little bit. I'm not an expert, but either way, I guess it's kind of talked about it before.
Okay. Well, we have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is consulting service agreement with Craig Brooks. Of course, Craig is our previous building manager, or building inspector, and he is retired, and we've had him on contract for a little bit, but I'll let Rob speak on this.
Right. We had inquired and got several different options available for third-party inspectors, and the lowest price we could come up was about 3 times what Craig would do. some of the follow-up work. He's not going to take any new projects and everything, but to finish up some of the projects we're going on and to help out our bill inspector until it gets up to speed, until she gets up to speed, I'm going to need some additional help. And this is the cheapest way I could get it for the city with somebody who has familiarity. And we're not going to bring any new projects in with him. We'll get the new person up to speed for this one. So I'm going to need help on this just for a little while. We're going to minimize it, but we're going to keep him, 20 to 30 hours a week.
Just one question, Laura. You said you had a building inspector now hired?
Well, no. We had a couple of people turn down the job, and I am training up our clerk, and she's already had done some gas checks and done some inspection. We're sending her to school to get those, so whenever she gets fully trained up, she'll become the building inspector. We've gone through the process of committees and offered the job, and 2 times now we've been told that either the money or the situation wasn't right, and I don't want to go another 6 months without somebody, so.
So Craig will just help out as.
He'll help out until she can take over.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? Discussions?
I've got a question. Will the clerk be working into that position and how the city will hire new for hers?
Yes, we'll be putting out next week for another clerk position.
Okay. All right. What is the council's pleasure?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion. No second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
We have a split vote with council members Bellamy and Gonzalez voting no, Councilmember Crampton, Duffy, Jenkins, Temez, and Mayor Crespin voting yes. Motion passes.
Okay. All right. Next item is item number 5, designation of places for posting notices of meetings for the Lamar City Council. This is an annual housekeeping item that we usually do, and we just have to notify everybody. Rob?
That's correct. We have to put this out. It's a legal requirement, so this is one of the things that we need to make sure that we update and make sure we're going to keep putting out so everybody knows where to go and when to do it.
Okay.
So I had a question about this. Do we physically go, do we ask each one of these entities if they still want the agendas and packets? Because I was talking to Pueblo Chieftain at least a year ago, and they said, we do not cover anything from Lamar anymore. So I'm wondering how important it is to send them something if they will not. It would have to be a major event for them to cover something in Lamar.
We can go to each one of the contributors.
I don't think it hurts, but I'm just wondering how fresh this list is. If people opt in, or we just keep sending them to them.
Isn't like the street department and the water department, aren't they in the same building?
Well, yes and no. We've got street department over on Hickory Street, water department over on
Gotcha.
2nd Street.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got, okay.
2 different offices.
I had a couple of questions on that myself. The first one up there, it says City of Lamar website. Does that include the new app that we have? Because I was,
By name, it
Yes.
is.
okay.
Yes.
And then also down there, community resource with Darren going elsewhere, we got a new contact instead of Darren for that.
That right?
Yeah. Just so it gets to the right person.
So
We will update the list. And
so we can remove Pueblo Chieftain and update the name for the Community Resource and Senior Center. KLMR, I would suggest we leave that on for now and just
Yeah.
update the new email addresses for that. Any other changes that we need to add?
We're adding Galen Burnett, he requested today to be added, and I sent the email to Brenda.
So how many printed packets do we put out?
Printed packets,
Yeah. Is it the entire packet like we get, or is it just
electronic.
the agenda? Well, it says on here packet, so that's paper.
Linda,
So printed, she only prints out one for downstairs and a couple for up here. And then, Pryor's Journal, she sends one to you, and then the 7 of you, if you choose to have those packets. And the rest is just the first 3 pages or 2 pages.
The agenda
Just the
itself.
agenda only.
Gotcha.
And everything else is emailed.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So with those changes, would we like to get a motion with the edits?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the posting with the edits as discussed. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Last item on the agenda is miscellaneous items. I guess I had one question. I was looking at some of these comments on Facebook. And somebody said, "Happy birthday, Rob."
Hey,
Is that your birthday
no,
today?
Wednesday. That's why I postponed the one coffee
Oh,
with
your
Rob.
coffee for Rob, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, happy birthday to Rob as he moves forward for that. And then I believe Mr. Duffy had one here, or has one.
Next meeting.
Next
Next meeting.
meeting. Okay.
Hey, Kurt, I'd like to bring
Everybody
something to the
knows.
attention to the council, if you don't mind, please. I'd like to give our condolences to the Adami family. They had a loss in their family this weekend. It's a tragedy. My heart goes out to them. Prayers for their broken hearts, and just take a moment for them and their family in their time of need.
If I can add to that, Joe, also Eric Margosa family as well.
Yes,
I agree.
And
Yep.
I agree.
Okay. I agree. Thank you for bringing that up. Definitely a hard loss and I've known Greg and Hilda for many, many years, Dummies, and I'm sure most of us have.
Yes.
Unfortunately, nobody should have to bury their children, and I'm very heartbroken for them, and it's just a sad situation, so. And Eric was a big loss as well. He made a huge difference for students in the area as well as Alamosa. So whether you're a friend, family, or a past student or a past student parent, our condolences go out to them. So I agree, yes. Looking at some of the other questions on here, there was a question about the RVs, of course. I'll give the council just a quick update. So with the RVs, we had under contract, we've been waiting for to finalize that. We ran into a problem early last year where we needed to get EPA testing done on the site itself. And it was the Tuesday after Christmas when I arrived back to work that I'd received an email from the state finally giving us closure on that EPA testing, stating that we were able to proceed. So it's been a long, drawn-out process of getting EPA testing done on the site and making sure that the old gas spills that were there from the 60s and 80s or whenever that was did not cause a problem to where it would stop or contaminate that property. We're very fortunate to know that we don't have to dig it all up and go through this huge process to get that land cleared out. So that was great to receive that right after Christmas, a great Christmas present for us, and to get that approval on the EPA to say that they would close that out. Now, after we received that, we put it back into RB's lap. As I mentioned a few months back, there was some concern about the cost of construction, how much it increased from this time last year to this time now, presently. So there was a question on that, and they were working very diligently on trying to get new bids. They've contacted local vendors, they've looked at other vendors or general contractors to try to get bids. I have not received confirmation one way or another on that, so it's not my place to say what they're going to do. But we are aware that they've continued to do this process this whole time. They've gotten their building permits. They've applied through CDOT for all of their permits, and everything seems to be in full motion. It's just right now we're at a standstill until we know what the next steps are. So we'll keep you informed as we know as well. But that is the current status. Does the council have any other questions on items? I didn't see any other questions on here that needed to be addressed as far as the Facebook questions.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did Rick and Dorothy's positions get filled already?
Dorothy's has been filled.
Okay.
Rick's, we have one other person coming in for a visit this week, or next week. Coming in. Is it this week? Okay, Thursday. We have one person coming. We've had a couple of people very qualified, had various reasons why, and we're competitive. It's not really a money issue right now, so it's.
Good.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have several, if we have time.
Okay.
Make them quick. The park signs, how are we doing on that?
Well, we have 3 of them that are we were waiting till this budget to get them sent to us, but I don't have an ETA on that right now.
Escondido School Board,
Mhm.
how's that going?
The Escondido scoreboard's coming after we get the building finished.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how's the building coming along?
Well, we got the foundation and the contractor selected, but
I think we've paid him.
yeah.
They were working on some of the blocks.
Right.
The cinder block
Right.
walls and getting it started on the building of the scorekeeper box,
So
press box.
it's in progress right now.
The grants for the sidewalks expire in the middle of January, is that right, or did we get it extended?
No, we just got awarded them again, one of them.
Okay.
We just got the notice to proceed, I believe it was a week ago.
Yeah, it was the last week, right before
So we'll
Christmas.
get started, Stephanie will get started on organizing that process. And the second grant, we haven't received notice of award yet. They're still working on it. So we do have the one side awarded to us finally.
For the other side.
Right, and then the other grant that got awarded at the same time was we're going to finish up the Pocket Park grant, which is going to entail some heating elements, some permanent heating elements, and some more lighting. Permanent lighting, we're going to go track lighting instead of the temporary string lights.
And then the last one, my little pet peeve is the speed limit coming into Lamar from the north. We go from 55 to 35 in 5 seconds notice. And my suggestion is I think CDOT will put a sign up that says 35 mile an hour ahead. I wondered if anybody has ever contacted CDOT to see if we can.
We were having a massive problem with them coming in from the south, but the construction fixed that, so.
Yes. But once construction's done.
Once construction's done.
I travel that one every single morning, and I have caught myself several times having to slow down on the other side of that
And I'm
bridge.
just worried that when the Cow Palace and the other motel get open, we're gonna have some issues down there.
Well, we got a couple of, we have a fairly good relationship with CDOT and signs, and we have at least one in there right now, an industrial park sign. And I'll ask, and we'll get with them to ask and see if they'll put us up a upcoming, sort of like the 45 that's in yellow, that's
Because
warning
I
signs.
talked to the engineer and they said, well, it meets state qualification as to how far it is from the 55 to the 35. And he said, but if the city had requested for a head speed limit sign, that could possibly go through without a study.
Okay.
So.
So just be,
Just make
speed
it
limit
obvious.
lowered up, right before the
Yes.
bridge, to let
Ahead.
them know that's speed reduction ahead. Okay,
We can do that.
it's a good idea.
Good idea.
I have two questions.
Yes.
This past year, I took on supervising for the tackle football. I was sure Kendra that I'd be helping out this year and probably expanding that role into another sport as well as my time allows. How is the hunt going for the new recreation coordinator?
Again, that's another one of those that we've offered a couple of times, and we've had difficulties with acceptance. And we went through another round of interviews, and so we still do not have one that's accepted. We're going to go do that again. We're going to reconsider some of the people who've put in their applications already, and we will, if they're agreed by the committee, to go ahead and we'll offer it to one of those as well. But we want to get our best choice first.
Okay. And then I also was accepted on the board of directors for LPI last year. How is the hunt going for the new LPI executive director?
We don't do the LPI executive director. We do an LPI liaison / employee from the city. I have an events planner that's going to be doing the LPI portion of it. So we don't hire their executive director. We just put somebody on there to work with them. And we have offered that as well. And we were told that again, that one is another one. We do have somebody who will work a part-time with us on helping us on that until we get somebody chosen. But that's another one of those positions that we need to get somebody convinced to keep it.
Okay. Heather does a really good job of communicating with the rest of the board directors. I don't think we've had any update, have we, on where that stands with the part-time work?
No, I just arranged for that this week. So no, she hasn't gotten that
We've
yet.
got a big schedule ahead this year.
Yep.
Thank you.
We do have some very key positions in the city, you know, our community development coordinator, Parks and Rec director, events planner. I mean, these are all pretty critical for our community, and I know the committees have been working hard to try to fill these with quality people, and you know, even though they've gotten the applications, I know Rob's doing a good job trying to fill them, so we'll continue to work at that, but we appreciate you continued work.
We've gone through that process. They've chosen the first, second, and third, place, and we've gone down the list, and we just got to get one of those to keep.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the council?
I don't have any.
All right. Well, seeing none, the last item on the agenda is miscellaneous, or actually adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you all for joining us tonight. Our next meeting will be on Monday, January the 23rd. We look forward